Good evening, my friends. I haven't really posted any videos in a long time. I really hadn't expected I'd post any new videos, but I haven't been to the Philippines in 25 years, and first impressions are it's as gritty as it's ever been. The exchange rate is as good as it's ever been. I just got in a few hours ago. I spent most of my time in the airport. Changing in the airport was a pain in the neck. They take your passport. You got to fill out a piece of paper. This is like the 1800s or something. You know, when you go to Japan or Malaysia, just give them the money. Sometimes you give them passport, but most of the times you give them the money, they change the money. You know, you're in and out in 2 or 3 minutes, not even 5 or 10, just 2 or 3 minutes. And anyhow, I was in there for like 30, 40 minutes just transacting, 200 bucks. Anyways, I got 55.8 if I remember. And anyways, the exchange rate is pretty good nowadays. But anyways, the whole thing I thought would be different is they would just let you change money and, not have to record your passport and have to know your address in the US, your address in the Philippines. Oh, they were asking for your email address and just a lot of stuff like that. Anyways, it took more than 35 to 40 minutes. And they do that with everyone. So you just can't do a simple thing. Just changing money is a pain in the neck. Other than that, it wasn't too bad. Flying from Cambodia to Malaysia was pretty uneventful. They gave me a hard time in Cambodia. That pissed me off. I bought my ticket through AirAsia, which is pretty notorious for sucking something. Anyways, I give them my exact, they send you your boarding pass, and they send you your boarding pass right up in like to where you're going, and the lady just saying, well, when you get into the Philippines you got to leave. I said, yeah, I already know that. I'm going back to Malaysia, and I have a real ticket, not even a fake ticket, a real one. She said, I don't like that ticket because it's not in the system yet, but I can see it's from AirAsia. I said, yeah. And she didn't want to let me pass, and we were going back and forth for like 30 minutes, and then she said, well, you got to have the QR code, because if you don't have a QR code they won't let you in. I said, yeah, they will. I had the QR code. I showed her many times. She took it to her colleagues. They looked at it as a pain in the neck, and they looking at it, because on your QR code it has your passport number among some other things on there. They were matching it all up, and she didn't like it, but the other dude said it was fine. Anyway, she finally relented, let me in. Anyways, before I had got up to the counter to talk to this lady, she and her colleagues were weighing everyone's bags. And if you're like a little over, they charge you. I don't know what I didn't overhear them, but they were charging you whatever they do, $50 or $75 or whatever it was, to take a carry-on that's overweight. Anyways, my bag was at least 2 kilos overweight. It's supposed to be 7.5. Mine was 9 or 10 kilos or 11 kilos, something like that. They just said you could just go. You don't have to pay anything. So at least in my case, when my bags were over the limit, they just let me on. And other than that, it's pretty uneventful. I thought there'd be exchange places. I could exchange my reals. I had like 20, 30 bucks, so I was in the airport spending as much as I could, and got a bunch of chocolate and gum and soaps and things I didn't really need. But I should have just changed it over when I was in the city, but I didn't. I figured there'd be an exchange booth. Anyways, if there was, I didn't see it. It's a really small airport. When you get out onto the tarmac, you go up a little elevator. They have a bus that takes you from the airport to the tarmac. Then you just walk up a little thing like you see on movies and stuff. It's pretty interesting. And then they have some employees outside with really big ass umbrellas, because it was raining, just so you get wet for just a teeny tiny seconds while you're going from the not a van, not a coach, a big bus. Anyways, had at least 2 of them for this airplane. Anyways, got into Malaysia. I rented one of those. I spent a lot of money in Malaysia. I didn't really mean to, but because I'd never been there, I like to kind of test out the airport experience. You can rent a hotel for like 2 or 3 hours and get all-you-can-eat buffet for like 200 or 300 ringgit. I think closer to 300 ringgit. Or you can get the capsule hotel, which is like 160 ringgit, and you stay in there for actually more time, 3 hours. You can actually pay more if you want, but you can relax for 2 or 3 hours. It's really small. The shower's included in that price. But in either case, in that hotel or in this place I went to, if you have 35 ringgit, you can get a shower in any case. But it's actually nicer in Japan. Like for 20-30 bucks, they have a really nice place you can get all the free drinks you want and take a shower and all that stuff for about 20-30 bucks. It might have been 25 or something. It's a little cheaper and a little bit more, little nicer. And the food and stuff in Japan, I don't know why, but it's a lot cheaper at the airport. I noticed food prices like restaurants and coffee, stuff like that was much higher price in Japan. I'm not even sure why that was, because Japan's supposed to be so expensive. Anyways, I'm just kind of reminiscing. I haven't been here in 25 years. I got a really room, which I'll show you there. This is all my junk. And nothing, you don't get nothing nice for like 16 bucks. That's one bad thing about the Philippines. There's nothing really good quality hotels cost a lot more than Cambodia or Thailand. Right across right around the way there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little net on top. There's a little dude playing basketball. There's a basketball court with a net on top, so it can't go down 4 or 5 steps. Anyways, you see down there, there's at least one 7-Eleven on the corner. And if you walk down that street, I'm showing you right there, two, maybe 3 blocks is another 7-Eleven. It's kind of a picture of the skyline. There's the water over there. I doubt you can see it in my camera. It sucks, which I recognize. Anyways, some things have changed a lot. Oh, wow, there's some ships over there on the bay. Anyway, some things have changed quite a lot and some haven't. There's like homeless people splayed out all over the place. There's a nice barbecue. But one thing I did notice, prices are kind of cheap. I'm not sure why that is. I know the exchange rate is pretty good, but for my first initial 6 or 7 hours here, prices strike me as pretty affordable. Like, this is crazy. I mean, I recognize most people are kind of not retarded like me. I'm a little bit autistic, but like you get this Nescafe for like 12 pesos. Quaker instant oat. Gotta love you some instant oats. I know most people don't eat this stuff. Stuff like this is dirt cheap. Anyways, I don't know why I get stuff like that. It's just one of the things I do that's a little bit retarded. I probably should stop doing, but anyways, prices at 7-Eleven are pretty cheap. You can even get cooked rice there now. I didn't get any, but all the food they have in the Philippines is pretty bad for you. Even at the airport, mostly fried chicken and stuff, and I got high cholesterol now, so I gotta be cautious what I eat. I've been not well for the last 2 weeks to a month, and I had extremely high blood pressure. It was 160, now it's down to about 120 something with medication. And the doctors told me it's partly high mostly high because of the cholesterol, and it doesn't help with my eating habits, so no more beer, or a lot less beer, a lot less Coca-Cola or Pepsi, stuff like that. And starting to do aerobics now. I hate doing that, but it's the only way I can seem to bring it down to get things back under control for what I'm used to. Anyways, those are just the initial thoughts and experiences coming back to the Philippines. Man, it's really gritty here, and that has not changed. That has not changed. This is really, really gritty here. No, that's not a good backdrop. Anyways, actually, I got a taxi. Actually, one thing that was kind of cool, I got a taxi for 350 pesos, which when I first came here years and years ago, over 25 years, I must have spent 1,000 pesos, which is back then was 20 bucks, maybe slightly more. So at least they're kind of calming down with ripping you off on the taxis. Not a lot, but a little bit. That's about all well, anyways, I stayed at a much nicer hotel when I first came here. I didn't even have a guidebook when I first came here. I just flew in from Mexico and just stayed a couple, 2-3 years. Anyways, I'm running out of things to say. I just thought I'd jot down some thoughts just entering the Philippines after 25 year absence. So I'm gonna be here not very long, and then I'll probably be back somewhere. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Thanks.